Munja chairman. Also to get a Bonayan. Baby, before we fashi, they could get bonga. Don't beg one. The Peme bonga. Gramuki, which you will never keep it. Jolly Bonayan. The back constable moon. A jolly, and remember I come initiated. Boki. Banjari Batagambe. Ramape much about Trabe. Kimmy be who go cry so.
Amen.
So, I should be back today.
Amen.
Meeting Mugajin. The agenda before little overview, more Ochibe Bokyi, where we are. Then we are about conflict more chi between Sabanda and Abuja. Then with them any other business. So go to Boki. But I come to meeting for some time.
No, sorry, Chairman. Just point of. I don't know where to say point of order. That is a proposed agenda. So I think being the inaugural meeting, I would suggest that first either we adopt that agenda if we need to expand it, if we accept. That's just a proposal. That's number one. Number two, this is the first time we're having this meeting. So maybe it will just be good to know just by way of general introduction, just my few observations, before you start the meeting, before you give us a background as to why you call the meeting and then go to the subject agenda item,
Okay.
Yeah.
So, agenda, baby, adopt kind of, or no man is second, or man they adopt, or man is suggestion.
Seconded.
Okay.
No, but before second, Oshantarera.
Asama.
Chairman. Before Boki second the agenda, he presented Ashibera affair. The Mudi Berabeji at sure me be supposed be pem. So Mumbe Yabe Berabeji and be Fanga Kobe Ben, be more share with people of your so them being a fake bad Bera. Before Becky adopt agenda,
Observation.
Yes.
You've already presented an agenda. What the last speaker is talking about, that will fall under other matters.
Exactly.
I think we should first adopt that and then we go and introduce ourselves. After we have spoken about the three issues raised by the chairman, then we can go, these other things will come up under other matters.
Recording in progress.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, just further to my earlier comment and observation, bearing any other suggestion, being the first meeting, personally, I think these agenda items are appropriate. Ochibe Bokyi, the security, and any other thing we can talk about, any other minute. Being the first meeting, we probably may not want to bite more than we can chew. So personally, I feel I'm happy with the agenda as presented. So I hereby propose that we move this, I move the motion that we adopt this agenda for discussion today as presented. Thank you.
Okay. The motion.
Agenda you know as a second.
Okay, so the bank agenda. Any other thing keep under other business, other matters be discussed. So moon care little overview where we are go Ochibe Bokyi. The last meeting.
observation.
Yes.
Chairman, can we introduce ourselves? Then we go on that just like Kenneth suggested.
Sorry. General Moses
Yes,
retired. Chairman of Boki.
Yes. Good.
Member Cletus Provost. Member Vice
Mike
Chairman.
Yombu. Member Ochibe Bokyi.
Yes, member.
Who Joe?
Now Victor Abang, the honorable member who representing Common Boki.
Akide.
Okay, Paul Edobi. I think I'm a trustee of Boki.
Then member Florence will be the vice chairman, most common. Okay.
Rob Akide.
Akide.
Yeah.
Ochibe Bokyi.
Akide.
Member Morris Ekman, retired ambassador of Nigeria.
But not tired.
Ambassador Akide.
Our senior brother. I'm Prof.
Your Excellency, thank you.
Prof, how are you?
I'm fine.
Oshenta
Oh.
Mais, ma ke commission nchike fe me chicha.
Father Akide.
Otoyi,
Father Akide.
Abukode afobenu.
Oshenta Rao. Member Beatrice Nyam. Executive Chairman Boki Local Government.
Chairman Akide.
Akide.
General
Ibife.
Our chairperson, Nkina.
Colonel Kina,
Pleasure.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Sama.
Well, chairman more Eshekara more Nigeria.
Chairman of Nigeria. If you attack for Afe.
Afide.
Sama.
Ochibe Bokyi, me Tony Nyam.
Akide.
Tangina.
Colonel Kina, I'm a code.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Well, I will share. I will share. The way to know is so much.
That's
Moment on care introduction. Oshenta Mengala. Member Christopher Lekan. I'm from Moshe Mumbakong Abu, the United States of America. Again, the president, Cross River State citizens. Again, coordinate the meeting, Oshuake London, the governor of Cross River, Baba, last week.
And you didn't invite your brother. Okay, we'll talk.
They can walk no Mogrekan. They can walk no Mogrekan. Yes, they can.
They can, congratulations.
Thank you, Prof. Oshenta
Oh.
Yeah, member BT Eno, Memuntanga University of Calabar. BCG Molino.
Yeah, Prince Akio.
Yeah, Boki. Kafra.
She Baikide, Banshi never need it and Baikide. Membang Emmanuel Bissong, Memuga Germany, Megamu Chairman Muban Booking Member Kwan Gibisekala. Asambeno.
Okay.
Yes, good. Afọ.
Samu.
Boki ntagira.
Mhm.
Eba Europe. Canada. Bafa me batebe. Ke Boki membe kwangiji. Kenfumo njo kiba atane ba na ba kuba pen. Itana betobi chiku said. Batento. Kibe me kabang ikam no share. Agafo beno.
Okay.
Barry, Bikorang. How is my baby? How is my baby?
Yeah, baby Murano Abone. Yeah, fine.
Canada, what part? Canada.
Okay, but more Alberta.
Alberta, okay. That is a nice place.
Okay,
Barry Abede.
Abone Agafo, I never point. Sam.
Oshantara.
Hey, John.
Membange abankejo. Menge mo secretary mo Boki. Kankangbat deshe kara. Memory Sweden.
Okay.
That's good. Abede.
Someone. Kinsley, Kina.
Kabeza pe pro omuka.
Yeah, Kafaram.
Yeah.
Osheva, you there?
Yeah.
Okay, Memba Pius Tabi Tau. Alternate chairman, Mocho Boki. Former.
Okay. Ag.
Dr. Afkide.
I'm recording. You are looking beautiful.
Sama, doctor.
Sapi.
Yeah, thank you, the prof. The prof. Yeah, yeah, take care.
Bane bato batombe bada senazin barista Chinke muin Kangba said the shed is and also there's a name in Obun Mbia. Then
I'm just joining. Member Barrister Chinke. And whether my network challenge is reflecting. Okay, member Barrister Chinke. My lawyer, my Kalaba.
Abede.
Yeah, Intel.
Yeah.
My chairman. Welcome back from UK.
And lawyer, I didn't hear from you,
huh? I will get back to you, sir. Sorry.
Aquaba.
Aquaba. That's true, Connor. We met in Ghana, sir.
Yeah, yes. I hope you had a good trip.
It was okay, sir.
Very good. Okay.
It was okay, yes, sir. Mm.
I'm whenever man.
Yeah, Chairman should proceed with the deliberation.
Let's
Cletus now.
Negebra.
Introduce.
Cletus Ubunga.
Gabriel Otunyam,
That's Colonel.
Colonel.
Colonel has already spoken.
Gabriel
has always been his name.
I am a baptism name. My baptism name.
That's so.
Yeah,
I'm knowing this for the first time.
And
I'm knowing for the first time too.
Anthony is confirmation name.
Okay. It's Anthony Gamunere.
Confirmation name.
Okay.
Na Asu to Asu.
Okay. Okay, Chairman, thank you.
Professor Oshita, that's Senedizan.
Network was song.
Chairman is muted.
And is Ambassador Sonia Bang here?
I don't know. Ambassador, that came for men the moage oge omotonge kebo kumbu boncho denewa. I left because of this meeting. I left the place. They had not even concluded commendation. And commendation of this thing in them. Because I wanted to be where I'll attend this meeting. Coming for Tonga for that them name.
I really regret that he's not here. I really regret that he's not here because his presence in this meeting, his participation in this meeting, I thought was extremely important.
Yes, you're right. You're right. I left him at the depth anyway. I don't know where he should be now, but the more I go get and them with some the Jumbo Calabar. Come on, be Calabar before this meeting. I didn't want to be on transit.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah,
Chairman. Yeah, what's your real? What's your big real?
Professor Shita, Abedi.
Mambo Shita, yes. I'm on the
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you for calling this meeting, Chairman. Chairman, thank you for calling the meeting.
Chairman is muted. Maybe he needs to unmute himself.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much. I'm here. I'm ready.
Okay.
Banchi na bana onobong okay excuse me Mr. Tony Nkpe Ayeni, former auditor general of the Federation. Yeah.
Okay.
Already knew there was a church program over here at the same time. Like annual man get kubashi meeting not on your church or Russia join. Shaman, I'm unmuted though.
That of your John B7.
You cannot hear when it's muted.
No, he can hear, but he can't speak. It doesn't mean that.
Okay.
Cletus, I'm going to unmute him. Help him to unmute now.
Okay. As simple as that.
Papa John, new phone G because new moment.
It's okay. He's unmuted. I'm sure he can. It's okay. It's unmuted.
Using phone mobile practice.
No problem. It's now unmuted, so to address better.
What do
Yes, General.
So now join the phone mobile practice. We could bond any.
No problem.
So agenda item needed for maybe an overview. Ochibe Bokyi. Me from a come to Boki and claim the elections. Can never from a Fanecon. So from a move come. So you can gap. But the last movie come also come. We dissolve executive, the vice chairman and others. Then we care the clan. Ochibe vice chairman. Tatagante Honorable Barrister Oenagbo Keba return for that Abu also. For Abu, then Florence for the second one. So I bad about Muna Begante the executive. Baku Baba keep better can about the vice chairman. So this slow bag And secretary so in keep meeting except which meeting on the 16th. 2 days before me. Host meeting when the bitch is big and bad. Why haven't we filled this in? What next? Every executive then come meeting more Ochibe Bokyi, more executives. We keep a fight to book and take control. But I'm which by interventions. Anytime anything itchy, of course, come the governor, cabinet, and so on. So that is a big Ochibe Bokyi. Security. I think the chairman, Honorable Machonian, do a brief. After main job, in that way, Jogani. I think it's a
Sorry, Chairman, just my point of just observation.
Okay.
Nkio Ochibe Bokyi, is it an information brief or is this something you want us to discuss? Because I don't know whether you want us to take everything and begin to talk about them. Because if it's something you want us to talk so that we don't get the two mixed up and we don't forget, why don't we take one item, like you brief for, if we need to make comments and come, if it's something we need to make a decision and come to a landing, or maybe, I don't know what the House feel, if they want you to give a complete overview and then we'll begin to take the item one by one. My position would have been, preferred position would have been, we take one item, discuss, land on it, and then go to the next one, except you just want to, run through, that's just my point of observation.
Take more than 2 more minutes, then.
No problem. That's just my personal view. I don't know what other members feel.
I think I go with Colonel Obi's position. Let us just exhaust this item and move ahead.
All right. I'm in support of that position also.
All right. So, we'll be doing my comments. Okay.
So the summary, because I think I've lost a bit of the comments. So after they had a meeting, they were supposed to have nominated people, and I think some of the clans have not responded. The next meeting is fixed for the 16th. Is it the ESCO meeting or the general meeting that is fixed for 16?
General meeting on the 16th.
Okay, and when do you plan to have the ESCO meeting?
This is what we are. Okay, Mumbai exalt ESCO.
Yeah. That's why I'm sorry, General, for cutting you. I think the way you were going, would have been very helpful. Because an overview will bring out the issues we need to intervene on. Because when we cut you short, you are not able to land. That's your overview. I thought would be very useful. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for cutting you. Yeah.
Yeah, Doc.
The senator.
Yeah, but irrespective of that, I think we should tackle issue by issue.
Yes, correct.
Just like Connor suggested.
Yeah, issue by issue. I think he needed to create a context. He wanted to create a context, and then the issue by issue will become clearer. To everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, but he raised that in the agenda. He already mentioned that. Let's tackle issue by issue, finish it, then we move to the next issue.
Oh, okay.
I think it's better that way.
So that we don't flog. Like I said, this was my personal view. We had two major agenda items, and these are substantive items. Yes. Substantive items are items that will require discussion and probably decision. They may be related or connected, but they are substantive issues. So ideally, I mean, again, it depends on what the House wants. If we feel that it's better to have an overview of everything and begin to take them, if they are connected, to give us a clearer. But personally, I said, and I kept saying that was my personal view. So again, I just leave it to the House, whatever we want, you know.
Well, I don't know if I can make a comment. My comment is simple, that if we were having a one-on-one meeting as a general meeting, that proposal will be a germane thing to do. You can't jump from one issue to the other. Because we are having a meeting that is virtual, and you can see that some people are already not flowing because of the networks and all kinds of things. I had thought that when somebody has that opportunity, he deals with that. When I say, no, having heard all the issues, can we now take the first one? And then we go for the second one. In that way, his thoughts are flowing, and those who are already following will follow up. If you now proceed and do one issue, by the time you get to the second issue, some people are disconnected because of network. Rain is falling everywhere, and all kinds of technological crises, glitches in jam, and this. And here we're having it. So I thought that if he can flow, let him flow. Then on the discussions, when I say first, take the first one. If he dovetails into the second, there's no harm in combining both, so that your thoughts will flow clearly. What you are saying is what should happen in a normal meeting, where we are all seated. I will now say item number 1, we finish it. We go to item number 2. But because this is virtual, it is giving us problems of networks and all kinds of disconnections. Can he now flow on the 2, and then we take them one by one? What you said about the ESCO, this is where we are on the Boki. On the issue of security, this is my take. So any person discussing will take the 2 as well, serially. I thought that in that way we will avoid the situation where some people are disconnected midway into the discussion. We have a peculiar situation, and I thought there should be peculiars dealing with the situation as we meet it now. Ordinarily, items of agenda should come one by one. But where we are now, we have challenges. Those challenges, to tackle them, let every person who wants to discuss the 2 take one and stop there. That's just my take.
All right. To save time, General, can you continue, please? Let's save time.
All right. Then item number 2, security suemo kabisa. My mentor very late from John had moved at least a band then on the census of comment. Man call chairman, call our honorable mature and so on. And then the governors promised offering Trump ban Sudan security immediately. And the following day, chairman said more for the security Barbe. The battery was early in the morning, by morning, by the back. So that's very unfortunate. But chairman on the mature, I brief my baffle. Remember handling it actually over time. And so what you are brief and meeting what is the problem? What next? So just the overview move for Munkia. After this overview, the manner you can discuss the security more. All right, that's the point where I'm going to take. So now we discuss Ochibe Bokyi. Anybody some points? Comments on Boki.
Chairman, sir. Iranki Ochibe Bokyi, I think since that dissolve Kamu, it's more than a year ago. Gaba dissolve Ochibe Bokyi. Never ban each clan my wisdom. para form school. Energize or whatever. But since then, thinking where clans, but they come to be. The term is that leadership calls for a lot of sacrifice. It's like some of us, from the while leaders, before we sacrifice, even the clans that we are representing. Because I'm vice president of a clan. Men karenfo kiminen wa woyena muto akaba aku kamton tebe. Neba ne yen. Aku sega me about Otibuki. Kata ajo chom ngichi. You should be the first person watch attack para ajo chom ngichi. Ne akpede call chairman. Aku said. But over the years, babe bang Otibuki ofrene whether even if like chairman said, only they come and carry politics because of the problem more like even outside politics, if you become always at least I will make come Otibuki twice in a year. Kimungi Q cardon for us, even if it's once in a year. Can you buy it for once in a year? You couldn't come Otibuki. Q regular, we could come regularly. But now regularly every year. Before man cap ngamu. And because of that, but I job I feel impact Otibuki. But a share a way even lost into their hands. A quachi biamre equal gambe, rain gambe. If you want a fit all ne kebuki, even me genuine a bookie, but I feel for the munochi and jango share. Urachi okubo shebuki, and a shebuki cre, ye kong ete. Otibuki rabwes mother beautiful. Why walk on the moon? I tigo shemu. Buki bafu badambe bad mamang buki. So bien bi kubi chene bi otibuki ofito shwane. Boncheten Sir Pius Bison, P.O. Bison. I don't know how many other people mo call me every time. Each time mo come, it feels like anyo pugante, anyo jagante, nyurang esebe mbue bon, nyurang esebe gone bon, nyurang esebe nemune bon. Ofubukibu tanede is always worried. And many people now remember me say me very worried about the fact that we fit to manage. So if ba clan ba fugambe, baba never like you advice. Ba clan ba ku keba advice ba ku sacrificial. But sao shebe abirabirong mara ligiro mara trap. Biomambi be ben. Because I'm to ababa futeto otebuki omo kam. Like what is happening now in Buje? Eastern Boki or Abu Onen Mumwani. Oh, Enagbo, it covers that area. Chairman of you that way, Juangi Gichi. You much of what showing for this is what is happening. Oko chairman, Oseda, Bakpedepe. Even if you mune chairman, mu local government. But as Koti Buki, chairman should not be hearing things from Kebako, not directly from the main actors. I think we need to think of how to overhaul the whole of Tibuki. That's just my own for now.
Professor Simon.
Yes.
Prof. Amanipen.
Every service around the meeting was 16th, which will be a share. Back by vice. I'm watching for my some few weeks ago. Can be back here. The executive and metal which be Kukamba meeting, Zumba, Abuja, Lagos, foreign outside. We could be about the advice. get the center. We discuss. Then I'm between election. Meton Kremu Jofi. I'm between election. Wafu. Wafu not all. Member. One. So, we got and let me make you say lights. This will give you lights.
When they sit.
Ano mo na kyo? Kamali preja.
Hello, General, I'm not hearing you.
Ano mo na kyo?
General Manager there. Manipem have a contribution.
Of course. Of
Okay.
course, the floor is open.
Yeah, my take is that functionality of Ochibe Bokyi also who come on at one general meeting a year, just like Remy Kangema company, like an annual general meeting of Ochibe Bokyi. Then we can be meeting on the basis of the committees maybe set up. Because of the challenges of moving around, can domicile, for instance, can so be peace and reconciliation committees. And predominantly members from Calabar from one zone. We want to do finance committee, and predominantly say they should come from Abuja zone, so that in between these meetings, they can be holding meetings and reporting to the center. And then I remember that Dr. P, as chairman of Ochibe Bokyi, alternate chairman of Ochibe Bokyi, started what would have institutionalized Ochibe Bokyi. The Boki Legislative Council was supposed to pass a bylaw defining their relationship between the local government and Ochibe Bokyi, so that Ochibe Bokyi will even have a DEX. The local government will provide a DEX and a DEX officer for Ochibe Bokyi in the council, so that correspondences and to act like a secretary for Ochibe Bokyi, correspondences and any other matters can be assembled from that DEX. And then if there is a bylaw defining the relationship between Ochibe Bokyi and the council, and even those of us who are public officers will be compelled or advised to pay to contribute financially to the growth of Ochibe Bokyi. But a situation where right now everything is left to maybe the chairman and a few others who, whenever they have the funds to call us together for a meeting, then they can now call us. So for me, my take is, first of all, we still go back to that original idea of Dr. Pastor, that we should have a relationship between the council and Ochibe Bokyi. Fortunately, Boki is a Boki speaking area, and it's for the whole Boki local government, is for represents Ochibe Bokyi. So we can pass that bylaw, create a DEX for Ochibe Bokyi, and then we have a situation where we have committees that are domiciled in our major cities, Lagos, Calabar, Abuja, and then we have a bank account where we can be financial members. Even those of us who are holding offices in trust for you can contribute to such accounts for the functioning of Ochibe Bokyi. And in my own contribution.
Asama, actually.
That's interesting. Honorable.
Okay, Chairman Ochibe Bokyi,
Samuel.
Yes, Kera Ochibe Bokyi, Kefi Ngeremu, Kegi Kame Jirishi, because Otun, the legacy and power of history are completely against the hegemony of Ochibe Bokyi, because Ochibe Bokyi at the moment has lost its binding force. Now, on the 16th. We have to retool the operation of Ochibe Bokyi on the 16th. Retooling implies that we have to agree among ourselves in that meeting and see how we can confer more binding powers on Ochibe Bokyi. How do we start that? You recall Ngeremu Obasanjo took over Nigeria, began a program of to create an expansive program for rebate. So Mayojo Kawefune, Abemane Sabebe called by vice chairman across clan Bournemouth, Ochibe Bokyi. Ochibe Bokyi Escobar with a schedule. Mubachiba Peretsen Ochibe, Bata Abu, Bata Eastern Boki, Bata Oje, Bata Osokom, Bata Iran. Bata a serious meeting to preach the gospel and the legacy of Ochibe Bokyi. So that by the time we send back clan, create that awareness, I think that will confer so much biting force and power on Ochibe Bokyi. This is something I feel we should consider and put in the policy agenda in that meeting on the 16th. Oshentarero.
Samuel,
Full, Prof.
So, bitan activity for the second agenda item.
No, generally, if you don't mind, please let me just quickly add something.
Okay.
So, my advice would be for the executive too, for you as chairman, as a noble chairman, to also spend time looking at the constitution of Ochibe Bokyi. It looks to me as if because we probably are not aware of some of the provisions of the ground norm of Ochibe Bokyi, some mistakes are probably being made. You know, Ochibe Bokyi Mune 7 units. 1 unit that the Bokimbe Cameroon, and 6 units Bokimbe Nigeria. And each of those units Mune a vice chairman. And they were supposed to do and be doing what Professor Florence talked about. And each of those units has people who are the members of the Ochibe Bokyi General Assembly. The Ochibe Bokyi General Assembly. All Boki persons are free to attend Ochibe Bokyi meetings. All of Boki persons are free to attend Ochibe Bokyi meetings as approved by the chairman. But only members of the General Assembly can vote. So Tungabu, Abu, Eljuan, go Sokom everywhere. They are General Assembly members. And that is why every time over committee Ochibe Bokyi, like a general meeting, the persons you should contact more than anybody else are the General Assembly members. They have responsibility. In fact, it is because we don't seem to be conscious enough about them. That is why the various units are becoming weaker and weaker, you know? So, Gangbe, you know, if we have time, I believe that we should revive that, yeah? Revive the spirit of members of the General Assembly of Ochibe Bokyi, because that is very specific. And I believe that those who prepared that constitution, the whole idea was to make sure that decisions of Ochibe Bokyi are decisions of all of Boki, you know? Decisions of Ochibe Bokyi are all decisions of all of Boki, you know, and all that. So I think it's equal members of the General Assembly, you know, from each of the units of Ochibe Bokyi. And the units are the old clans, you know? The old clans. I think that is, I just thought I should mention that, yeah? I should mention that, especially as we're thinking of making sure that the new vice chairman, you know, emerge from those areas where vice chairmen have not emerged. Gangbe, you know, this will help the coherence. I think it's a problem of coherence of Ochibe Bokyi. And I think what somebody else had mentioned about the importance of various committees, because those committees should be working continuously. If they are working continuously, whether General Assembly hold every month or not, you know, the Ochibe Bokyi feeling, you know, and activity, you know, will continue to be all over the place. Thank you.
Okay. Maybe because you have said what you have said, I would like to make my contribution on the basis of this, maybe for the purpose of historical perspective.
Mr. Chairman, my hand is up. I don't know who is, I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Honorable Muji.
Okay. I'm using the chairman's phone. That does not make me a chairman.
But there should be somebody. Okay, my hand is up so that we can speak. At least we were orderly. So, Honorable, talking, you know, my hand.
Honorable Pem, but then by even get the platform to His Excellency Oyibu Bo, then Father to Oyibu Bogibon.
Okay,
okay.
Okay, Honorable, please open the pen.
Yeah.
Okay, so to be very brief, the 7 Union Bennett 10 members as prescribed by the Constitution, 10 members of that assembly from each of the 10, that's 70. Executive comprised of the chairman, secretary, financial secretary, public secretary, organizing secretary. Those ones too were zoned to each of the clans. Those positions, when we say vice chairman, it also includes those positions that were vacant. For instance, the secretary from Eastern Boki, the organizing secretary from Osocom 1, the publicity secretary from Boje, and all that. Those have to be filled back. Now, more importantly, sir, on the 16th for this meeting, Professor Florence Colonel Nyam was a member of the Constitutional Drafting Committee, which Ochinke was heading, which we held in Calabar and Ikom. In that constitution, what we intended and what has been put on ground, which was accepted after nearly 1 year of going around the clans to adopt, we came to the conclusion that every member can attend Ochibe Bokyi, but those 10 people, anything you have from any clan to say must come through those 10. I remember Dr. Pius was the one who insisted that if you allow everybody to talk on the floor of Ochibe Bokyi without those 10 members, we are going to have a chaotic situation. So where we are now is that those 10 members must be put on our platforms. So anybody from any clan who has anything to say passes those 10, even though he's attending the meeting. The final thing I want to add is that the weakness we are noticing now is that people imagine that if Ochibe Bokyi does not meet, it means there's no Ochibe Bokyi. Those from Eastern Boki will remember that when we had the invasion of the Fulanis in Okwango, Bumaji, and other such places, we had about 2 meetings back to back and even sent people to Okwango. The reason is because we needed to have Ochibe Bokyi presence and to ensure that we didn't have an invasion without talking to. In fact, Honorable Macho and others assisted us to even get the police to bring those people out. So if we are going on the 16th to reinforce, like we did with Professor Florence, when immediately after the death of Chivem Timbu, Ochibe Bokyi never held for almost 2 years. We had to go from clan to clan to ensure that that happened. So please, on the 16th, those 10 members of our clan, the vice chairman, and the executives that have been nominated should now come back. So in that way, we are starting afresh and putting our tenors on board. the constitution, like we said, has to be redistributed and followed without any aim to water it down on account of the passage of time. That constitution has not been taken out. Like Professor Florence said, Bafu Onet Munan Odachokiyeran, the man leaves Erwan to go and stay in Abu. And Ochiboki can do nothing. I remember that such things used to happen before. Therefore, open share. Or man we were in Boje when they told us some people were in Oku. The Vamtimbu presided about that meeting, and we proceeded. So we can reinforce that, and we can put back Ochiboki to that point. We want to look back for Trump, but said Trump. We are in that position where we can do so now, better with technology, so that we can please move ahead. So those 10 members per clan and the executives per clan that we are doing should be brought on the 16th, not just the vice chairman. That is the point I'm trying to make, so that we can start and start well.
So let me actually move back. Everybody's going to keep our planet. We said, by the way, I represent the meeting on 16th.
But never Sunday. Then I'm dissolve a school after meeting Mubansan. I'm about chief from Banede. How about that from the Banede? The clan should come prepared to do that on the 16th. That's my take.
The clan get by those 10 people.
They may not be aware.
But we feel they are there.
That's what I'm saying. But I think by certain the clans, there are 10 persons. And from the 10 persons, ESCO for the central ESCO will be taken from there to those clans. So that be nabit baby but
Yes, Chief Amoros has a comprehensive list of members of the General Assembly from every clan. You know, he has a comprehensive list.
Dissolve.
No,
dissolve ESCO.
No, it is those members of the General Assembly who should elect the vice chairman from their unit.
Yes, that's the position.
But Doctor, members of the General Assembly 10 be permanent members.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We'll look at the Constitution again. I think because a lot of powers are in the hands of the units. They can elect their members. They can change their members, as they wish.
Exactly.
But these members are known by Ochiboki as the members of the General Assembly and the persons who can vote. So it is they who should elect their vice chairman, and it is they who elected Professor Florence. Before, I remember the first time they elected her. And now they have insisted that that is the same person we want, to continue, as our vice chairman, for Sokomon. Yeah.
Chairman, I don't know if there is space. Let me intervene.
Sorry, sir, but never move over Bogi Bong.
Okay, that is true. That is true. Yes.
His Excellency will born women Bogi Bong, then father to you Bogi Bong. Yeah, I couldn't get the deciding. There's a way more.
His Excellency Colonel Dobi.
Okay. Your Excellency,
Chairman, I felt it was born that you should get a secretary, because we're in the digital age. This is the only way we can have a control meeting. No, on a serious note, because otherwise we'll just be talking around and we'll be interrupting you. Okay, thank you for the opportunity. So your secretary can help. I just follow up on a few comments that have been made from the floor. One, start with my brother, Dr. Tao, that talked about the Constitution. Incidentally, it was during my period as interim chairman that we adopted the constitution, through the hard work and instrumentality of our late brother, Barrister Ojua. And so it's important that we make effort to study that constitution, because that constitution, where a lot of things were taken into consideration and a lot of effort was put in there. And I think if we try to study and follow that constitution, it will help us in the way we will run Ochibe Bokyi. So it's very, very important that we try to also see what is there and follow it in, because that's the legal document today that binds us, even in terms of membership, constitution, just like Dr. Piles has said. And there are a lot of other provisions that we've not actually even implemented, even the composition of the General Assembly and even the Board of Trustees. And that brings me to the second point, which is the Ochibe Bokyi. Yes, we have the chairman of Ochibe Bokyi, whether we call him an executive chairman, but the way Ochibe Bokyi has always been run is like a collegiate kind of system. Even though we have a chairman, he's not an executive chairman. So the chairman needs other people to also work together, because we're all talking about Bokyi. There's nobody that knows it all. And if we all know how Ochibe Bokyi had functioned up to this point, we've all been supporting each other. I remember during the last crisis, a lot of people were, taking, shots at the chairman on what he had done and what he has not done, without people coming up to make suggestions. I heard what Professor Florence said, for instance. Not many people are ready to even make sacrifice. Today, a lot is just left for just the chairman. But we also forget that the chairman, even though the Constitution provides for his tenure and power, is also limited by what he can do. He can only work with existing institutions, and he can also work, more importantly, with the Boki people. So it is important that, particularly those of us who have also had the opportunity to serve and who also have had the experience of being there, don't just step back and begin to look up to the chairman and think that it is his problem. It is not his problem. Just a bit of digression. I remember, when President Jonathan was in office, some group sent and that they wanted to meet with him, and they said they call themselves the Fulani Mafia, and I went to see one of their leaders, and they said, look, President Jonathan is the president of Nigeria, but he's just like the CEO sitting on the board, and that they have other shareholders, and that the problems are not his problem. And then when there's a problem, he should come down and sit down together. So the point I'm making is, Jerobi is our chairman. We elected him based on his experience, but it is not his problem. The Boki problems are not his problem. We should all come together and make that sacrifice and support him, and don't leave him alone and exposed and begin, because he can't be everywhere. And when there's a problem, there's one, he needs information, and two, he needs to work with institutions, like he has said, like in the last time. And that brings me to the other point, which is the relationship between the Ochibe Bokyi and the local government council. So if that's the third tier of government, the closest where we are. So if liaises, there's a provision where, because I know our chairperson is very proactive, where Ochibe Bokyi is in touch with the chairperson, who is actually the chief security officer of Boki, and is in touch with the governor and the agencies. And the rest of us are coming together with the traditional institution. I think we can, and of course, all his other executives are also doing their part. I'm sure we'll be more functional, and we'll be able to make Ochibe Bokyi to be more proactive. It's not about him, because if you say Ochibe Bokyi is dead, it's not the chairman. I think for me, it is a collective responsibility. And if he doesn't do well, we should all hold ourselves collective responsible, because he's just first among equal. He's not a magician, to do everything. So those are my comments on the frequency of the meeting. That's going to be determined. Maybe the ESCO will suggest something, and the General Assembly will adopt that. But just before we move to the next point, my suggestion is that, based on these comments that have been made and another comment that we made, let's summarize and come up with a position on what we feel on the Ochibe Bokyi before we move to the next subject matter on the agenda. Thank you.
The next boy is Mbu Father. After Mbu Father, Professor Betenu Bubement on Bugibon.
Chairman.
Yes, Father.
Wukin Tigra. Kaba Pembe, be Pemtegantak. Can you make a Chairman Bubuki? Local government, Bunyin. Memumun Kapenfu. Ntabe, Mumba come on the 16th. By a clan, by vice chairman, secretary Munchabe Boki, or sang or say planamu. Chairman at that form there, vice chairman at that form there. Can Banyibafu officially clan and Bebatumo Nemu Ochioba ne concern be clan number over the meeting. Ojotobit. Ma pembe meeting no boysamto ora ka meeting the clan am. Kipat ke onemu mo sang oba wedo fe chairman mu Boki local government mu no office mu orafo me mu nsensebe mu nsebe Buki then ki bi pem me mu serenfo onemun ke clan yen wo kabotap meeting mun ora bene e bara fine vice chairman ki onemu chi oba meeting amu ke ife epe mi mumu ke meeting obonwe papemba je me mumu ka benfo meeting mun baba come on the 16th tongi bon ki ba chi ba kan ba se afedi shi ba fu ki fongulun na me ku kama meeting ma fe na me ku kama meeting ma chat ki dije di credit say ndi da bange na me ku kama meeting ke obonwe be kam ke clan mun o be jage clan mun meeting amu mu 16 to amu wa chi ba kam apem mbe iki jigi malene
Asana.
Professor Enubu, when man tambugibong.
They don't need to see it. Listen. They are already projecting it from
Professor Enu, Ubema Mbutangibong.
Professor Enu,
Mbuji Tombukibo.
yeah, okay. This thing is back. Professor Enu.
Professor Enu, kiwo fianya antige Panenya Mbugibong, and then I think Senator Matthew Mbuto Yibu.
My point is on the point Honorable Victor Abang made. Very important point, because Bankwambe chairman is at times demands financial. A chairman, a retired man, may not be able to do what a chairman would do without the necessary support from how do I put it, from local government. Luckily, Honorable Victor has suggested that the members representing Boki and the local government should have a way of making certain contributions, which would help the running of the Ochibe Bokyi. I go with that, but I do not think there should be a desk in the council office because of the possible partisan political implications. So the member representing us can make certain contributions. So with the local government chairman, if the governor allows her. So because that's the way, there's an issue we may need to address, which is that the funds from local government are not being controlled by local government chairman. It's not our fault. It's the fault of the politics the way we see it. So that point by Victor mature should be taken seriously. Sama.
Yeah, Chairman, Akobeno. Member Nejani, Dr. P. Ora, supported by Colonel Dobi and Mr. Cletus Ogun. Buying for that general council, the various plans is very important. Cable, they should be the forerunners of Ochibe Bokyi in their various plans. And Trumpichi, they should be the first people to contact and to be able to tell us exactly what is happening there. The executive, on their part, should always be in touch with this general council. And just like I believe, was it Obun that suggested it? Like this meeting will be more contact if the general council is still in place. Some of them should, in fact, all of them should be invited to be part of this meeting because they are the forerunner. They are our eyes and ears in their various clans. We should do everything to reactivate them and to make them functional because this is what will restore confidence in their various plans that Ochibe Bokyi or Tonglembe. We need to restore that confidence among our people. For Beno.
Chairman Barrister Chinke Oyipto Boki Bong.
Okay,
Yes, Chairman.
Okay.
Okay. Let me intervene directly on the issue of the structure of Ochibe Bokyi. And I will raise a little bit of historical highlight. Before we came up with this clan structure, Ochibe Bokyi had a single meeting, which was more or less like the General Assembly. If Ochibe Bokyi decide we are meeting in Abu or any of the villages or communities in Boki, that's where Ochibe Bokyi is meeting. And it was mainly a General Assembly. When we got the Constitution, Barrister Ojua was the chairman of the Constitution Committee. We came up with this structure of the executive and then members of the General Assembly and all of that. Now, please, if we have a General Assembly and we say it is open to attendance by everybody, anybody that is qualified and has taken the trouble to attend a General Assembly meeting should be allowed to speak and should be allowed, if it comes to voting, to vote. But I, however, think that very few decisions will have to get down to voting. If it must come to voting, then maybe each clan will be given the opportunity to take a position, and then if there are any dissenting opinions, we can take. I don't think that somebody will, from wherever he is, take the trouble to go and attend an Ochibe Bokyi meeting, and you tell him that because he's not a member of the General Assembly, he wasn't selected by his clan, he either cannot speak or he cannot vote. After that experience, the next Ochibe Bokyi notice he gets, he will not bother going. So we should look at that structure very carefully and maybe say that if you attend the general meeting, you can speak and you can talk so that Ochibe Bokyi can go back to what it used to be before this new structure. If there are critical decisions to be taken, then we ask each clan to go and take that decision and come and speak through their vice chairman. And I think that will help us to mobilize people to take an interest in the affairs of Ochibe Bokyi. Otherwise, it will be difficult to get them to attend meetings. And if they can't attend meetings, they won't take an interest in the affairs of the organization. This is my intervention, sir.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
The only thing is our brother Mr. Anthony Ayine Mumu said Umo Tom excuse so join and TikTok.
Oh, okay. That's
Then Ambassador Sanyabang Otome message can to go for Nimo drive from Gike Chairman Moses so network of your bank and you join.
okay.
Next item.
Someone get another. I told you, I tried that.
Barrister O.N. Agbo. The number figure WhatsApp and try a reach in that money reach. Barrister Tase get into my message. But just this evening, I don't know if I'm going to network of your that money. In try a reach in that money reach. But Barrister O.N. Agbo number more figure WhatsApp.
Oh, okay. So I think every man got the money to any other business.
Security.
Without permanent be security, I want you.
Security first.
Also, Chairman, but I'll summarize never pembe, but suggestion be back here.
The summary.
Okay, man.
Hello, Chairman, sir. Chairman. Kangbe. Yes. 2 things. Very briefly. The issue of local government, relationship with local government. I don't know whether more capture Rankier constitution it. But Dr. P and others, a time was moving local government who could trap in the funding of Ochibe Bokyi. Get that work out, and just like Cornel Ofu, local government can't be in control of their resources. So but is it possible Mubara CAF a role? Because local government rightly Omochoku fund Ochibe Bokyi. Maybe even in 1%, or even just Bakwa Kamote Bokyi, okay, support. In that way, talk, I don't know what we'll say about that. Because we tried actually the last time it didn't work out on local government funding of Ochibe Bokyi. It didn't work out. So I don't know whether now chairman can speak with the governor or something and we get something out of that. Secondly, Mbiatao said, is he calling for a review of the constitution?
Absolutely.
Because Mbega draft, draft. Oh, they should be allowed to talk, they should be allowed a vote. Are they calling for review of the constitution? Those are the things we should have to look at.
Okay, Prof.
Okay, sorry, Chair. My hand is up. I know you have not given me permission, but just quickly, Nkike, the local government, and whether the local government can afford and support. Since Muna, the chairperson, maybe we should give her an opportunity to make a comment on this. Let's hear because whatever is on paper, she is on the ground practically. So I suggest we should give her an opportunity to hear from her so that they can guide us in whatever we do. So, and again, it would be good that you summarize this. Let's know the landing before we move to the next topic. Thank you. When she's done.
Let me come. Okay. Yes, my hand is up. Okay, 3 things that come out clearly. Let me take the last one from Prof. The issue of the response to Barrister Chinke's intervention. The issue of delegates. I recall clearly why the delegate matter came up was because of the chaos and the inequality in representation and advancement of issues. That is to say that about for meeting Mugabu or meeting Bugo also come, the propensity and the probability that Bandebawa to have a meeting are mostly and also come 90 or 70% of Bandebawa meeting run or go also come or Eastern Boki will become Eastern Boki people. So when they dominate, a decision is to be taken. Most of the time, we discover that it becomes chaotic. I remember that even in the election of this last executive, in Okonde at Boki Boys, it almost degenerated to that. I remember also the issue of zoning of chairmanship of local government. The politicians will come there and say, oh, Osoboki is only interested in election. They didn't fire when there was war, they didn't say anything. Politicians will come and infiltrate. That was why the issue of delegates came up. I remember that was about 2008 or 2007. Chivemti was still alive at that time when those things happened to us. And that's what we now said. To avoid those situations, you can attend, but you cannot have a say. The reason is because if you had 10 people, 70 people taking a decision for Boki people for each clan, if those decisions are not binding on you, even if you bring 200 people, the decision will not be binding on you. That was the reason for the 10 delegates. The second thing, the second point we made was they'll give order. Because I remember that in Ochiboki meetings, most of the time, people leave from Lagos, from London to come and attend Ochiboki meeting. It's not everybody that enters Chief's house if we are going to have a meeting. The decisions taken there were binding, whether of zoning or of decisions about security of Boki people and all that came in there. So I would like to plead, like she asked, are we reviewing the constitution to now say that this is an all-commerce affair? And back to that all-commerce affair that end meetings in riots and in chaos. If that happens, then we have to review the constitution. The major things about the local government now and the intervention of local government, our thinking was that there should be so. But somebody, I think His Excellency, Colonel Dobe had asked the question, that some partisan interest will sometimes creep in. Some chairmen will feel that Osoboki did not support him to become chairman and therefore is not giving anything. I have spoken with the governor on most of the occasions. One of the reasons he gives is that if we approve that for Boki to be giving 1%, how about those local governments that don't have such organizations? It becomes compulsory and chaotic for the governor. So for me, what Honorable Macho suggested is more important to us. Since we have this structure of Ochiboki as our ancestral organization, each person appointed, elected as councillor, supervisor, federal board member, we have a database which gives us that, and we say, each of you give us this. Local government chairman, from your salary and allowances, you have also IGR and all that. A chairman who is favorably disposed to us, even if you say be giving us 100,000 every month, however he gets it, whether from his salary or from his allowances, becomes his duty. But if you say it should come from government coffers, government will have to do that for the 18 local governments. Some local governments don't have Ochiboki. They don't have any organization. And when they have, they are multiple. So he won't be able to handle that. So for us, it should be that the chairman of Ochiboki in our constitution should be made to make a contribution of a certain contribution as chairman, as a person, as a Boki person. If we have a sole administrator who is not from Boki, it becomes a different matter. But any Boki person who is governing Boki at a particular stage of our life should be given a particular amount. Like you have the federal house member who is from Boki, you have a senator who is from Boki, you have a House of Assembly member, we will always have two. We say this is what we need in our coffers. Or for every meeting, this is what you should do. If we do that, it will be more practicable than giving us a statutory amount and say 1%. If you do that, it will be for everybody. Finally, my contribution on the issue of attendance at meetings, contributions to meetings, and the structure of Ochiboki, it is perfectly made so far. It is perfectly made so far. And I think that the only thing to do is to strengthen it. And if by the next meeting we have our ESCO fully back in place, I think implementation will be easy by doing a database of those who are in business, the cocoa farmers, our people in diaspora, and our people at home and in positions. Some of us have federal appointments, some have state appointments. We now say for all political appointees, this is what we need to have them do. So that database will help us into Ochiboki account, which is a general account of Ochiboki. In that way, having been registered, I don't think we'll have a problem collecting that. But to say that the chairman of council should start going to the government to take, I've told you that the governor will now need to apply that to all the local governments, and it may be problematic for us. So as our son or daughter, let the person contribute as a person. Now on his own commitment, he can now say from our IGR, from our location, or from my own councillors and supervisors, we have contributed 1,000 naira. This is what we are giving to Ochibe every month or for every year. After political parties do it, so why wouldn't you do it for our community? What's difficult about that? So I think that is, for me, more practicable in terms of funding of Ochibe. And if you ask me, I will go ahead and even start making my own contribution now.
All right.
So, Fauja, at this point,
Yeah, for Chairman, Kangbe.
okay. Enjo Kankangbara Bibera. Mbeba Fauja Gekabne one before the rank funding. The General Assembly, Mbabarangene. Mumbim Bomginenfu. Banembe General Assembly, mbe permanent members,
Yes.
and be permanent members. Then those members who attend meeting, could take decisions. But about permanent members, does it mean that each time Mumba Kubaba clan Babane 10 persons Babara represent Gambe? Or is it that Abba be meeting? Because that study the constitution the last time Mumembe meeting by meeting BMB, usually Abe discussed Bafun clan moon be engaged can be your decision. That was what happened. I don't know whether that was before the constitution came into force
Yeah, that
or
was
not.
before. That was before.
Okay. That's okay then. Then be whether the members be permanent. Have the members be permanent so that each clan by ensure that those are permanent members by attend meeting so that they will not be shortchanged in case of decision to be taken. But have a permanent be also. Then get come the funding. I think the suggestion more Honorable Cletus Obuno Joseph Fugantik, okay. For instance, I've been able to Boki on the 16th. Definitely, me watch chairman Boki. There's no how that cumin fudabo and that can support for the hosting of the meeting. Except that chairman Boki. But I'm chairman Boki and Boki and Mtebe. I'm another care support, even if it's not going to be much. But the support is not going to be constitutional or enshrined in any paper like Honorable Cletus Tofu. Because Governor Obachi Obane Ekeganki to just Boki local government. But at the same time, being yet, for instance, I'm being yet info to Boki Mobeba Nebe at this time. Manage an application to the governor. Mfugangbe, my Otueboki Consultative Assembly, Mabeba Nebe at this time. Mege mu the host, Kenkianki, Kangbe approve so that better man nebe. Omane approve, Oman maybe not. That way it would come. But like Cleto said, every one of us won't be appointed positions. But Kebe a levy, be could contribute the figure get coffers Mbotueboki. But that be beba nebe meeting. From the elected members, from appointed those in appointive position, they can contribute to the hosting of a meeting.
Yes.
Atama. Okay.
Tama, metomu yebu bogi bongo na mane irado. Okay, Professor Shit, you going to open a chance to Okay, sir. So, my munkwa be just like Honorable Cletus name, local government chairman or Bala. I don't know, but some of us maybe from diaspora be more new, moving more attend this kind of meeting. So, before you get the details about Otubebuki, the constitution and other things. So, Otubebuki Muna account, men support the position more the last two speakers but take. And Dobachi like a levy, each clan, Bakuna this levy Mubada Kunemu. And then diaspora, Bakuna this money Mubada could pay as levy. Such that Ocean actually government go down Oshe. Local government chairman mo try go ba moment Ochibe Bokyi to akpo anyige aka nu Ochibe Bokyi. Omane take some projects. Surely ndi ba kwa kam Ochibe Bokyi ge bana ba chiba pede support it. But if there are statutory levies mbebane bada ku pay, into clan mun ba pay nen, bana member get government ba pay nen, diaspora ba pay nen. Kichobang account Ochibe Bokyi akiroro famani. There are some other interventions in both Bebuki Badaman and Kuchi to support the government. I think it's urban and to
That's
okay. Okay, Chairman, just information, Gangbe. Boki community in diaspora, they register Gamu because we could have bar account, and then to enable us be bar account, we man be registered in a corporate affairs commission, and then be registered in a diaspora commission. So basically all this registration, a rabbit be man a bar account, then get trouble we could tap some to get some projects, and then possibly apply for some grants, which we money used to be the support bandit and get this. So in the midst of this, I don't know, but I registered in the Corporate Affairs Commission. The registration occurred immediately, so that after this, Bamane put the process of account opening. Our account you cover circulate can then statutorily be could pay accurate and all the dues or levies move could pay based on the clans and then other groups and other personalities member involved. I ain't came for I don't know. Christopher to but I don't know.
Because I think it has to do, you now spoke from the diaspora, so I would like to first appreciate my fathers and my mothers. Many of them here are my mentors. Many people in this meeting, contributed so much, to support me as a person when I was the elected chairman of the Cross River State Youth Council. And today I'm here in the United States, also presiding as president of Cross River State Citizens in the Diaspora. Like the chairman of the Boki diaspora community has stated, it has been a very difficult situation whenever we hold our meetings here in the diaspora. When we look at the happenings in Boki local government, it has compelled us to question what is going on with the leadership, especially when it has to do with Ochibe Bokyi. Because when I was in the University of Calabar, whenever there are issues that has to do with Boki local government, whether it is poor road network, insecurity, and all that, we will be paying attention to hear what Ochibe Bokyi will say. Even if it's election, we are all focusing on Ochibe Bokyi Bafuna. We're waiting to hear where Ochibe Bokyi will hold a meeting and come up with a decision so that those of us growing up, will follow that direction. But as of today, a lot of things have changed. And that is why when we had a meeting at the diaspora Boki community, we decided that we have to interface with our mothers and our fathers and our uncles, who are our mentors. Even though we don't live in Nigeria, we live in the diaspora. We are contributing, to the growth of Cross River State, in different areas. And because we are very particular about Boki local government, so we needed to also interface with Ochibe Bokyi today. One of the questions we want to ask the leadership is, how can Ochibe Bokyi integrate the diaspora? We would like to hear from the leadership, just like our chairman have stated, we don't mind to contribute financially. We are already talking on how to also carry out programs, independently from the diaspora to support Boki local government. We already have a relationship going on with the chairman of Boki local government area.
Yes.
And we want to extend that relationship to Ochibe Bokyi. But we can only do that if we understand exactly how we can provide that, play that role. And then we also like to again appeal that our leaders at this time who are championing Ochibe Bokyi should be able to be selfless in their decisions that will help to reduce insecurity and improve road network and also attract development. I believe that Ochibe Bokyi has a critical role to play to also support the local government chairman and influence the policies that will bring development to our local government. In the diaspora, we are holding the space very strong. That's why we had a convention in Birmingham and brought the governor and the wife. If we can do that, it means we can also support our local government. Again, I'd like to thank my fathers, my mothers, and all my mentors who have contributed so much. Many of you, I can't count. I can't continue to count because even I had a time where my Konenya, I had to go to him for advice. I had to go to Atauchinke. I even had to go to Konepo Dobi's village in his house. So many of you, including my senior brother, Professor Donalenu, so many of you we've looked up to you. But we believe that you all can give us another direction on how we can support Ochibe Bokyi and Boki local government. Thank you.
Okay, I will go.
Ambassador Bang, Oyibo Bokyi Bong.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, for me, this has been a very good class. I've learned quite a lot. And the last speaker, I think Mr. Lekon, he has made about 3 or 4 substantive points, which I think should be discussed one by one. But I am not going to go into that. I am not going to go into that. What I want to suggest before we move on to the next item on the agenda or whatever it is, I understand.
That's the only aspect of interest.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I understand that when one travels the length and breadth of Boki land, you see all those timbers being carried, buried, and God knows where they're taking them to. But I understand that the state government collects some money from these people. Now, I don't know how huge the amount of money is, but however small or however large it is, can't the state government or whoever collects that money give some money from that pot to the local governments to help for this kind of thing we're talking about, like helping Ochibe Bokyi to host their meetings, etc., etc. This is merely something I asked for my own enlightenment, or perhaps the chairman has something to educate me on this particular thing. I think, having just said this, I would like to go back, not now, when we start to discuss the substantive issues that Mr. Lekon raised. I think he raised a lot of, many other speakers have raised substantive issues as well that should be discussed one by one. But before we go to that, I'd like to have clarification on this excuse me, on this particular question I've asked. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Sorry. The council chairman can answer that.
Okay. Thank you. The timber that government is collecting money, the collection that the state government is doing, I have even cried to my own people here that we should hold a meeting and then lead a delegation to His Excellency to ask for a percentage, not to host Ochibe Bokyi, but for the development of Boki. For instance, we'll call it development levy. We could go to him as a youth, as a local government, with our stakeholders, people of substance to him, pay him a courtesy call, and request that a percentage of what is being taken from Boki should be applied back to Boki for the development of Boki. It's doable.
Sure. Okay.
Yes, sure. It's doable.
Very good.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay.
Very good.
That's good, Chairman.
Very good. Okay.
Okay. So, Ambassador Aman.
Yes, for the time being, that gentleman uttered so many important points, I think, and they kind of summarize what a lot of people have been saying. I mean, they're making various points. You know, you as chairman, I think it's incumbent on you to really, in your summary, to try and identify these things, and maybe some of those points, some people might have comments to make. I might have comments to make. I think I do have comments to make on some of the points that this gentleman, Mr. Lekon, raised.
You can make them right away.
Particularly to do with what we can expect from the diaspora, because that could be a very big source of income that will help us. I know the road network in Boki is non-existent, as somebody tells me. If it exists at all, perhaps it's just one bridge that was built by Ochibe Bokyi, for example. And we can cash in on that and then continue this development, self-help, and so on. And I think it's possible that we can cash in a lot on our young people in the diaspora. They have a lot of money, from what I gather, and I think they can be quite helpful.
Excellent. I think they have a lot of ideas that can generate money. I don't think they have a lot of money. I think they have ideas.
I think they have both. They have both ideas and the money.
Yeah. The ideas are bringing the money. I agree. I mean, just Your Excellency, just to support what you said, because we try. I think the chairman probably want to just focus on this Ochibe Bokyi thing. What Lekon said, maybe we can talk about some of them under AOB if they are not related directly to what the subject matter, because I even want to talk to him about the recent conference they had in Birmingham, because I was supposed to have attended, and I know there was one in the US, and I know the governor spoke to me. So maybe it's something we can talk, because they have a lot of initiative, and I wish I knew that it was a Boki son that was putting this together. So he can actually help to also see how we can attract this to Boki. So maybe we can do that under AOB, except we want to take it as Ochibe Bokyi. Otherwise, we might be biting too much, with what we're trying to just manage with our meeting schedules and the rest of them. I don't know what the chairman and that member think.
Yeah, which you could come by meeting always. So the man exhausts everything. It's good that we highlight them, which you use, and that also we guide there for the next meeting more shared. 16th general meeting and subsequent meeting by which we could come. We can develop all these things.
Chairman,
Okay,
Barry. Chairman.
Yes, Chairman, yes.
Kambe, make a for Trump Kige one Kibera Chigantic. Kinky, very, very important is that Ochibe Bokyi Oba account.
Okay.
Very important. Once Ochibe Bokyi Oba account, being made about levy and all that, be a figure account. I can account can. Nande diaspora and beba from money a contributor kwa. Back a figure that account. Because my money info to Bokyi be registered with CAC.
Correct.
It's already registered. So the bar account, they can be bar account.
Tax money before, but because we really see anything coming in, maybe that is whether it exists. But
it's all right.
What can you say?
They can be bar account number.
Okay.
The account has to be open next week.
All right, Chairman.
All the documentation.
Okay, we do it.
Bubombo Konenya Professor Shita Nebari Mbugi Banton.
Okay, Konenya, then Professor.
All right. My point.
Let me make it short so we can cover. Everybody can speak.
Yeah, my point is to take on what the chairman said. Chairman of the LGA. Please, in asking for whatever we get from the governor, replanting of the trees is very important because without the trees, Boki will not be. Sama.
Asama. Okay. Then Professor Oshita. Prof.
Hello. Yes. Boki Tabigura.
Oh.
Yeah. Man, very nice ideas, but I don't want to take us backward. So I'm going to just comment on one thing, the issue of whether a General Assembly for Otrebuki or Representative Assembly. I just want to warn from experience that we should not go backward because we came from the concept of General Assembly where people will take lorries and load all kinds of people and bring them to a smoking meeting and come and cause chaos. Let us leave it at the representative phase where you have equality of clans. It helps us better. That's the way forward. The other ideas I have, I will try and be at the 16th meeting so that I can, voice those ones. I think we've had a very long evening. So I'll just leave it at that. Thank you very much.
Okay, Sama, Prof.
Yes, sir.
Can we discuss the care rating?
Yes, there are two hands up again. There are two hands up. There is Senator
Matthew Nebari.
Short. Them get security.
No, very short. Mine is a simple question. The issue of the General Assembly. Where a member dies, what happened? How is he replaced?
The clan will replace.
Replaced by the clan, Replaced by the clan.
A member of the General, is there any rule guiding that?
Yeah, it's replaced by the clan.
I think it goes back to the Constitution. They've said they go back. I think if we look at the Constitution, perhaps, sorry, Chairman, maybe we should try and share that Constitution on this platform for people to just study. A lot of these things probably are there already.
Yeah, absolutely. It's important.
One on this. I think on this group.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
That solves the problem because the Constitution says every member of the 10 members can be replaced at any time by the clan when they feel the person is not, or there's a report that person is not attending meetings or is misbehaving. That the clan, they will report to the clan will replace that person. So all the power lie with the clan.
Okay. Again.
Okay, that's good. But it's good for us to know, so if you can share.
Final one, Barry, so that we move to the next item.
Yeah, Bonchi Barry Arab. Mfishwe ure chua kena kero tobe and then the money be clear. Mumbe Nkin Kubara, one of them Kubara, Boncheji Conelora. It's about the replacement of trees. Baku kero BT and be fina provision for replace and maybe in subsequent meeting which and something you come and be diaspora can be my brother Lekamora. I think we might not be manufacturing maybe in our next meeting, which will be set, and then our ideas on how we can manage time those people booking. Men that regular and be clear.
Security.
Okay. Security. Case security. Chairman of Council, Honorable Mach. Back come meeting. From what they told me, maybe I'm going to be brief.
You brief, don't take. Macho go brief, I'll be chairman of council. Appoint one person to start.
Chairman, I'm going to be brief. Then Macho to manifest our input.
Yes, the chairman brief us. I will come.
Okay. Get come security. We are meeting, sure. We are meeting, but security flashpoints bad share. Security flashpoint, Buje Kataba, security flashpoints, Buje Njwagapo, security flashpoints, Buje Esavindege, security flashpoint, Nsadobe Tikwe, security flashpoint, Esavindege Nkum, Mbabena Nyimbe, local government bato, security flashpoint, Biajwa, Ne Abia, Etung, security flashpoint, Butatong, Ne a community ge wula. There are a lot of those security flashpoints, but be man in Nebe, be pedi Nebe by meeting, be pedi rane bare. You know, brothers and sisters, be pem, be kalaba. In that be meeting, the state security advisor. We're able to contain security flashpoint between Bojene Kataba and Bojene Njwa Gaku. Mbembe be man contain Gambe, but escalate further. But I'm more very tense. It was very, very tense. But Jeme Sobendege, in spite of all the meetings we were be, both the state security advisor, besides the paramount ruler, in the meeting, the last one was a group obey from the Surveyor General's office on the 16th of June. Meeting am one big council headquarters. More before Baba demarcation of a boundary so that we can a lasting peace get Mbe government ba beba se gambe ba fo. E singing bembe ba ngingine. It's reserved forest. Chinang e singi ba suppose ba nungenyi. So ken kere mo ba bebe fo ke bebe chibe sang be said government be fo. O di reserve that place. Ken an kere mo ba chi da reserve. Ba ne ba mo ara jene. Ba ne ba je. Ba ne ba kwa chibe fat. And you know, especially cocoa and all that. So they said be pem ne ba draw. So the Surveyor General team obey. Okay, gambe two options. But Ogamba Sheba move from that forest or by ye get a forest by ye 500 meters to Buje, 500 meters to Sovendege, by ye bank that middle as buffer zone. The both community ba bangeba for member 500 meters on each part, but ye buffer zone. 16th of June. On the 21st of June, we had a meeting. The two communities, Befu, Boje, Kembeba na Shibojam, Benige Kembeba na Shibojam, to form a committee, the Surveyor General team, when they come for the demarcation of the boundary. This was on the 21st of June. On the 22nd of June, okay, the escalation or the recent escalation again. You know. So be my meeting, even the state security advisor, obeba nebe meeting. Be bafiba bange community muno fu no ge kada fe meeting amora kware community muno fu no nyinge meeting no supposed to queue. The man ended up not being able to hold that meeting. So that's where we are. That's where we are. And this thing is caused by Buan baby Buan bebara nunge community amu. Bibi Buan bibe nunge community amu. Mbeba kabeba from mbeba job deshi. Mbeba test bali wado deshi will work or not. That's the major thinking can cause this problem. Ketenki inside of Neboje. Beg inside of Eman in Nebi Buanetem before. Ari nang yegari yagere yen ke ategrekan. Kamgambe, that's a double nere, that's a anything. On about 3 occasions back Kambuan Babanembe. Be tege can keep out from be tuam the communities get can keep out from be back before the buanene bara kamgambe gerebe one of them, the community Obo Batamarungu Fugangbe, Mbembajonganki for the first time, they are going to talk to their people never to enter there again. The other community, Bujebarabe, Biyeberake police, Badambada Bela. Bichito again, that same boy and the same group, Pachida again, Gerebe again, new one side. Bichikam, right now, Mune police, Batiage ATM, awaiting trial. So that's how far it's going. Meeting, maybe back meeting, me, chairman of ICOM, chairman of ITUM, maybe maybe meeting on Wednesday in the deputy governor concerning Mbimbi inter-local government, so that bada be ekebanet, maybe chiba nung into it, because can shom ki maybe na be internally. So far, enegechi, irigechi eneki bakbere chebali. Everybody oba be intervene abene ba police abate pa police ne soja mbegeboje pa police ne soja mbegoni chafam pa police ne soja mbege ebenige yet bwanete bara nungakan recently again the very day munno London bakpere chebari again gafakan. So I'm at a loss. Begba be suppose the first shige kedebon berige riye be chiwechi chomkenen kena ke shom onobon ebosa moda kuka benkyorachi enegen kiko for benu.
Actually, Chairman.
Yeah.
Chairman.
Okay.
So, Honorable Macho.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The chairman of Bribe essentially what she has done. The various flashpoints by Boki before she was elected, since I was elected first. Most of those flashpoints, we try to build confidence between the wearing communities. But specifically, the main issue now moves about the Genebuje. For over 1 year, I've been on that matter, trying to ensure that we don't get to this situation. I think before the chairman was elected, the two communities even approached me, and they had agreed that they were going to get surveyors to join the surveyor general to go and demarcate the place. I made a personal contribution of 2 million to them. That process for that work. Then the last one, which I want to bring the director of boundary and demarcations in Cross River State, one engineer and different, was the one who came to Buje, and they had a meeting with the chairman, the council, and the two communities shortly before and what we have secured so far is the understanding of the two communities to demarcation, because even though Haban is there, but there was no serious will to demarcate with Yambo, because whenever we make any progress, whenever we make any progress about the demarcation, some people will go and stop it. So now I've been able to secure the understanding Muje, the chairman of Buje and the clan head, and the chairman of Sobendege and the clan head that would demarcate that place, just like the chairman briefed you. Now, the chairman of the director of boundary and demarcation for Cross River, who visited Buje before that crisis, actually wrote a report that was hanging the office more Surveyor General. And I have spoken to him. I put pressure on him until he has brought that report and submitted to the deputy governor. Now, but some of the recommendations in that report requires the action of the governor. That's why I'll be in Calabar tomorrow. I will stay even if it's 1 week to make sure that I see the governor to take certain decisions For instance, to reserve the area will require the governor sending a resolution to the House of Assembly to reserve that area. Because, and from the report, 80% of the land is the forest reserve. So government have to deforest, reserve it first.
Yes.
Reserve it first, and they have to get to the House of Assembly to do that. And then the remaining about 20%, that land, they will now do the proper demarcation. Fortunately, both communities have signed on to that demarcation. Now the challenge we have, like the chairman said, the youths who, even the elders and chiefs, don't have control over them. That the ones who go to that forest to perpetrate the crisis that we get there. So we have made recommendations that if two people, if we do that demarcation and two people still feel that they want to go and fight, we should treat it as pure criminality. We should not treat it as Buje and Isobendege. Because if somebody from the because the people of Buje or Isobendege did not sit down and agree that they were going to go and fight a war or go and fight a crisis. So crisis will start from two people. Maybe one person from Buje, one person from Isobendege. So we should isolate those cases and treat it as criminality. We should not treat it as community matter. So I'm positive that by the time we meet, because the report is already before the chairman of the boundary committee, which is the deputy governor. I spoke to him yesterday about the report. He was in the Yofanda conference. So I'm sure by the time he returns, he will assemble all the stakeholders. We have encouraged the two communities of Buje and Isobendege to hold meetings at personal cost, together with what the council is doing. But they asked us to contribute. Some of the meetings they hold in Ecom, even for client heads and paramount to come, we had to move them, and we had to pay heavily for them to go to such meetings and take the decisions they are taking. So we have agreed that the Isobendege and Buje to raise about three or four members of their communities. We'll meet in Calabar on Monday, and then we were to see the Surveyor General. But now that I've got the report out of his office to the deputy governor, we will see the deputy governor and possibly the governor, because the action of deserving the forest will require the action of the governor writing to the House of Assembly to pass that resolution. So that's the effort I've made so far.
Okay, Honorable Asama. All right, so we could be almost 2 hours. Any other business there?
Sorry, Chairman. Hello.
Honorable Practice.
Yes, I want to thank the chairman and Honorable Macho for these interventions, and the entire community as well, Boki, for calling this meeting, and we are discussing this. In fact, when the first situation occurred, what we even had to move, because when we contacted the Commissioner of Police and the DPO, they claimed that they couldn't enter the place. And I called on that you have tried to as much as provide even the chairman. And I'm happy that we've gotten to this level. But let me say that we will not just read the permission. At the meeting of 16th, the communities of Buje and Isobendege and any other community for that matter should know that the embarrassment that they are giving the Boki people, that the Boki that job on the listing of Boki, Bafu, but the listing Boki will carry us at least I was in secondary school. I'm surprised that Boki, Boki, in the name of Eseni. So any person who chooses traumatic, it is Boki versus that person. On the 16th, we will take that resolution and call all of them and put them on the floor and let them know. I will not just say so, we will implement it. And if people are afraid of calling names, for instance, Chairman Beba Kamano, then a Boki person, that is the first suspect. That is the first cause of the war. So those type of we look at them dispassionately, wherever they are. Remember from share, we shall know from that place. Because if I tell you what I went through that day in shock, I was kind of like a baby get transformed. When somebody comes to chairman, she's just landing on it, and this is what she's hearing. I was crying like a baby. Don't call ambassador. That time my chairman he doesn't know what we're doing at this stage. So on the 16th, we shall look at them the second time and let them tell us how to figure it out. Because from then, nobody can be bigger than the community. So I would like that on this matter we conclude it on the 16th. We will have a standing committee on security for this purpose. That we move in. At least by that time we have had our account, we have money there, we don't need to tell anybody to do it. The chairman and executive will move in and deal at any level. Constitution is very clear on this. So once again, commending the chairman with the support of all the people like the for the intervention we will reduce the crisis at this point. That is two things. Went and stole a car, and they are struggling how to share the parts of the car, and they want the public and the police to know about it and how they are justified. That matter on the 16th, and we shall be very firm as we have always done as we keep people. Also, Ochibe Bokyi,
Okay, Honorable Tama.
Amen.
Yeah. Can I?
Excellency.
Yes, sir.
I'm about to
Okay, all right. Yes. First of all, to commend the chairperson and our honorable member on their initiative. You know, when I listened to the chairperson, I was a bit concerned because the way she ended with some sense of indignation and frustration. But listening to Honorable Macho, I'm a bit encouraged because we need to call a spade a spade. In every society, people have the tendency to behave in a particular way if there are no checks and balances. And so we need to draw a line. And I'm sure we have institutions. We're sure that we have the capacity. I heard myself say something like that there's no political will. I don't know from where. I didn't quite get that. But just to the point, I think the thing it's haven't heard what the chairperson is doing and what the honorable member is doing. Where are we as Ochibe Bokyi coming in to play our own role? Because the issues have been clear. For me, beyond what the government institution, because it is important that the government do what they set out to do, which is demarcate that place and create a buffer zone. That's very important. And once they do that, the second stage is the enforcement. And like, Macho said, we need to draw a line between criminality and, community issues so that we don't drag community. But in doing that, I think we also need a lot of community engagement so that our people are also educated so that they don't fall, into this where one youth or two youths go and commit a crime and then the community is dragged into, because most wars are started by a fight by two individuals and it could become a major crisis if it's not managed. So that's where I think Ochibe Bokyi need to come in, maybe again working with council and the traditional institution and the communities to also use our own forum to try and also engage our people and educate them while the government and the other people are doing their own. I think those are just my contribution. Thank you.
Okay, Asama. On the meeting March 16th. March 16th. All this to move forward.
Can I say something?
Okay.
Yes, very quickly, just to let you know that the two communities a couple of days ago signed a peace agreement. So it is important for us to know. And I like to emphasize the need for the criminal justice system to be brought heavily, on those who commit crimes. Most of the conflicts, most of the so-called native wars, are instigated or emanate from or derived from conflicts, between two persons, three persons, and those conflicts are normally very criminal in nature. So the chairman, as a chief executive of the local government and the chief security officer, I'd like to advise you to continue to work very closely with the security agencies to make sure that crimes are punished, that people are identified for the crimes they commit, and that they are not covered up in any way. They are identified and punished by law.
That's why we arrested those two and handed them over to Commissioner of Police.
Yes. Can I just say a little more? Because right now there is evidence, that the remnants of iron are operating in the area, and it was reported lavishly in the last few days, in the social media. The remnants of iron are operating in the area, and if that is true, then nobody in Boki is safe. Because these people operate without any rules. And there is evidence, as you know, about the gruesome way, the gruesome things they have been doing. They are acting like terrorists, just moving around, arresting people in the bush and cutting their necks. This is very serious. And we should not gloss over this at all. Because if we do, then we are in trouble in Boki. You know what Iron did. Iron took over whole communities, and he trained boys in their hundreds all over Boki and dispatched them all over the place. And he destroyed Oku community, before he was eliminated. So his remnants are actively operating in the area, and that's a very serious matter indeed. Luckily, the Nigerian police, the police in Cross River State, are already aware of this. The security agencies are already aware of this. So I'd like to encourage you to please liaise more with the security agencies to do the needful. That's what I must say. And I come from the area, incidentally, like most of you know, I come from Boje and Sadop, and I'm also seriously related to in Isobenega. And this conflict has been such an embarrassment to me. I've held about 20 meetings so far. I mean, the first meeting I held was about 25 years ago. 25 years ago with the communities, and in the last couple of years, I even dragged the Catholic Church of Nigeria, the Catholic Church of Ogoja Diocese, to be involved, the Catholic Church and the Lutheran Church. And they even set up a committee of 6 priests and the Lutheran Bishop of Ogoja, who went into the matter, went into the matter at my cost, and they prepared a document, a peace document, based on the agreement of the people, and defined that boundary. We have signed so many agreements. The communities have signed agreements, at least between Isoben and the Boje. They signed agreements about the boundaries. They have these reports. So I just wanted to bring context into the matter. That a lot has been happening. So what happened in the last couple of weeks was a provocation between youths, and then they drag the communities or pretend to drag the communities into the war when Isoben and Boje are not fighting. So please, please, Madam Chairman, I will be so happy, my dear sister, for you to do everything possible to ensure that those who commit crimes are punished, and punished squarely according to law. Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, please permit me to to go. I have a very serious responsibility to discharge about now. If you'd authorize me.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. It's been a very long meeting.
Yeah. Yes. I'm so sorry because this is misbehavior. I'm really misbehaving, and I'm so ashamed of it. Please cover me up. I beg. Thank you.
No, I'm just saying the meeting generally is long, so maybe we should wind up.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to say a word or two.
Okay.
Before you wind up.
Okay.
I have really enjoyed this meeting thoroughly. And I made up my mind not to miss it because so many things are happening and one hears second hand, third hand, in some cases even fourth and fifth hand. I said, I like to hear from the horse's mouth, as they say. I know Boki well before the Civil War. We always stood together. We were our brothers' keepers. And we're all against hate and against hatred. And we all shared common values that defined us as Boki people, values that defined us as intelligent people, progressive people, and people who cared for their neighbors. And who is your neighbor? The man beside you. And in fact, it's the greatest thing that God gave us. They said that the two greatest commandments, you love God and love your neighbor as yourself. But I see that we have now forgotten at least the second one, and perhaps part of the first one, and perhaps that is responsible for the present problems we have. I do not know. I'm merely guessing. I think, Mr. Chairman, a lot is being done. We're doing a lot to improve the situation, to change the situation. I want to suggest, if I may, that perhaps the chairperson of our council or to Boki, they should set up a very small committee of 3 people, 4 people, or 5 people to find out what went wrong with Boki. Because I've listened very carefully to everything being said tonight. But that issue, what went wrong, I've not seen it. But they'll tell you, oh, it's poverty, it is this. Others will tell you, oh, some young boys now have so much money from Cocoa or whatever, and they don't care about law, they don't care about that. I think it may be more than that. If you accept my suggestion to set up a very small committee of 3 people, including maybe 1 or 2 from the diaspora, let them sit down and find out exactly where we got it wrong. Like I gather some group that are doing it for the federal government, for Nigeria. I think we can do it for our own small group. And I would like to see the Boki I used to know. I live here at 5 o'clock in the morning. By 10 o'clock, I'm already there, eat my pounded yam, stay with our people and rejoice, be glad. And if I want to come back, I return the same day or return the following day and so on. We can return to those good old days. We can return. It's a determination that we have to make. And my suggestion is a small committee of 5 people, let them find out what went wrong. But if we already know what went wrong, I would like to share it with who knows. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, Excellency, actually, I thought what went wrong? Is it over a particular issue, particular conflict?
Sorry?
Is it what went wrong over that conflict or Boki generally?
No, not the conflict. No, Boki generally. I started by saying that it was very good before the Civil War. That's where I started. Okay. Before the Civil War, it was beautiful, wonderful. Everybody wanted to go to Boki. Everybody even wanted to marry a Boki girl. They were coming from also far and near to marry Boki girls.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah. Okay.
Chairman, my hand is up.
Oh, okay, Chairman, please.
Yes, please, Kangbe. Nkine nchinraga nkigo kitro abgena finjung chomki nangono tomo fonga tomo jobe. Esere marin tuntu.
The Sebarin Tuntu.
Yes, the Sebarin Tuntu. Kena Buaneten ba bengikat, ba dugegikat. Bada sign a peace accord. Attack what a chat. Buan back tam kembre. Kinkine be chiga fa. Ba yibganki ba nung kigire kan. Ba shibe chiampi. Ba kama ne membe ga fa gen tut no numaku. Ba ju ba fega fa kan. Biembi buanete makwa mane chene. Biembi buanete makwa mane chene. Ke mwaku nke membe banku. Ntom mfuba kia me ba ko ba tanye ne ba da nungi kan kimbe ba dangirem. Ba fumba yibe kwa gena ba instead gambe ge kan kimbe ba dangirem. Kena ba jiba sen me menjin said gambe so nuro dangide mbe ba dangide ba da red ge kranke ne ba chie ba wuri ekwebe. Nkianki self ke chigambe ba free more irake. Right now they are more vicious. So Ochibe Bokyi o suppose to kume o articulate bien bibe da chibeke communities membe ba maneti buan ajombwananyi. But there must be sanctions to such communities. Otherwise, agekwe bon geta beba chibe wageri nge nemu the last person ofo Dr. Pius ofo. Nki ge cheche antige shom ki ayon. Me muon gra me mun serembe. Attack what a chat. One that's update him. And attack what I fe. Mbaba baba beba fu be kegambe wanebe. But ba juba to get afade kan. Me fi mani said fi mani bottom fede. Na mbeba ankum fi mani bottom said gambe nanchom. Tena me fi nyiri ba chichiba ne mbeba chiganki. But ba no share ge kan ki buan beba ku. Mbeba nyiri buane be baby buan. Abara kene gambe ba sanction ba fu ba bane buana bene ke ken ge ba chige kun. So Ochibe Bokyi the part mo Ochibe Bokyi odachi in as much as we mechi ne mbe me banku instead me banku ba kambato ba dem ne mbe kalaba ba kambato mbangi go kondi and all that, but sanction no man oku because enege be mu make you Bokyi ne be mu make the same environment. O nemun mo ba fu abafu odachi oku Bokyi ba ja o share the to share ge to ga kampa ye ba kom akobo na be bate. There must be a sanction to such a community. Otherwise, Kewage can get up. Agafobenu.
Mr. Chairman, Nembuji, I'd like to just make a simple contribution.
Okay,
Father.
All right.
Chairman, Papembe ambassador Pamopem Ofu committee na Asia Tanga I kenki Christian. Very good. Memumu kabefu. Excellent. Conflict. Wo kama share fe. Na me bibu anmi fu ma share fe. Is it possible Ochibe Bokyi, like in a neutral body, either as an ombudsperson or ombudsman or a forum, Manjirafu, Afaneko have Jabano share A and B on the Muko, Mwadako, as a third party against Ochibe Bokyi, move or represent Ochibe Bokyi, either a person or a forum, Sero Namunen, or Nid Ground Penneki. Hey, come on, Risho boy, Risho share. Beba Fanny the Gramada Teneki, Atoba Kwami Committee. Everybody don't know what about Ara Sebafu Kichibo or Shemo Nakpenkyo. Kato, there will be an opening for dialogue first before the Afaneko Harom.
Okay, Father.
Okay, Chairman.
Yes,
Chairman.
Distinguished.
Afu.
Asama.
Yeah. Birambi nen kesi anyị nyinye bana Afaneko chigudu nke bikpede. Me okabe muji mune nkabe mfu. Be decide chonki bichi anyị as Boki people. Chonki Chiki of benefit or Onkigi Chigita, the two communities. Kato a clinic or even community-driven or Boki-driven police station. Mobichi Bisibakuga, Wabane Boki, Babe. So a chonki Kuanyene. Kebo, the Rambine, but for a chonki told or John, Keta Bikobi Mumu. Abidama ne bom kanon be can be opet can be the pedene. Itambuki bumumu. Member in Asia, ni the chairman of Abaji Medoshie. And Babaji Abushie, Adam Barakio Shukri. Oshia Muene Mu Oko Kambe. Amamba sanction Kamo. Seriously. So I chomene kichito. Afu.
Chama Bubu Mbu Bari and Mbu Professor no, those are the only two hands when Baggy Bomb. Granted. Okay, His Excellency to
you joke and then Emma, I summary. Chena.
Okay.
All right. So you feel the
Barry,
okay, Barry.
Okay.
Yes. Bonchi gangbe fimbe ne ba gundo san ire madam ora chama mu council ne ban change be bara ne ki chonki h1 ne chonki tam ageri tiem. Bana ba kre ba nye de ona mu buki buri o tan ageri tiem awa no share. Ira min bi chine bi tango ga ba ron yen. E seven afine ba ron be buki ga ko. Ki ban me ki sang me. Ki fu buki yan kere mon bi munen ge bi mi bi chine. Ambanemba could be some bad politicized them in the three. Well, if you go to wouldn't touch war, get one king pam no re genki yichibenen. Bang pamba fembanyang. Orine bushan batun. Afwe, girabe come. Ni bang pamba fembanyang, bo bajua reba romba bi. Bagbo. You the kind of push from. Of into the canda's room, Nanga feb, Namane cam, Namane drew. Bang pamba bakun and the book. Or your bank pamba ba fe. Of the shilling you are. Ochina no ferian bam. Odam yo astronomer. Oket bushan. Oket bushan. Ora kedore. Oye bam bamambe obwa. Nkianki chibene. Biambim bia yo bi pereti kwango so kom bi chige bi kre. Bana ka grabe kam. Imbi madam ora fu banambe ba ro banambe kwan ba ko gambe ba te. Mbemba bana fane kongen. Aba mo achi. Ire ba ji abanambo share na ono bo ra ko gambe. Birame mu beja. Kanti bana bakre ba fa mane kwazan me mo fune mama wa manyin mana mbe ba kama mbe ba fa mambe ba kwazan anyi ba yuga me ba ki okara one over mane kam ba kegi jege buki na yemu akọ she akọ wana matigo she yan buki ba ja o sham ba mo sham ba kempon ba ke be mikre bia minga biti na ma ti ba bwa ga we bu she ba kwe chi mbi bara chi ba kiel ba chi bon ai mu chi na bi chi buki bu bwa ga wonyen ditien inki men funfun na fin be chira atwo tangbe bi that be chira that if we get na kin and the fair politics ba ron ne ba mani na ono twang if inki so ba ron ne ono o amante bua na ba chi na gi man for us to forestall that we have to call a spade na ye mo chi bi ba kama na 1 year na 102 na 1 kwa ba kama ba chinki ba kore ba chi na ba stop bien mi kankan abi da chi na mi tsabangambi bia mi bichi ebe mpichi bi aja tanga jere ekpo bichi ebe again nki me fun sere o shene agafo be no
okay
Banera wa shafe Professor Inu kona edobi.
Okay. Your Excellency.
Yes, just one quick point, because I think the meeting has lasted so long. From Key, the chairman of PEM, and from Key, a few people, there is a need to strengthen our traditional institution. And I'm just wondering, I don't know the reality because of the network issue. Is there a way more in future, this type of meeting, the local chairman, the chairperson can help our paramount ruler to be part of this meeting? Will it be a bad idea to bring him, even if it's an observer, so that he can listen to some of these things? I know there's a problem with network. I don't know the practicality, but if we don't strengthen our traditional institution and empower, him, a lot of these things will just be in the air, because the custodian of our culture and whatever, it's the paramount ruler of Boki. So I think he should be brought into this kind of meeting, so that he can also share his perspective, and we can also hear from him and see how we can work through the traditional, because if we talk about sanctions and all of that, those are through the traditional institutions that we have. So I'm just wondering if that's practicable. I know there are issues with network. Maybe the chairperson can tell us whether it's something we can.
No problem. No problem, Your Excellency. All I need to do is to be given enough notice. Then I will endeavor to get the paramount ruler to be at a where the network will be good, and then we'll hold a meeting. I'll be with him, and then he will go back after the meeting.
Thank you.
Is there a question of getting a place for him? Okay. That's not a problem.
All right. Thank you.
Chairman, Archie. I forget why I can't take.
Professor Betenu is the last hand.
Prof,
you are muted.
Okay, Donna is muted, yeah.
Active.
Okay, that's the point I wanted to raise.
Okay.
Because when we talk of the power of sanctions, it is only the chiefs that can help us. Because all our discussion, nothing has been mentioned about the traditional institution. That is what I wanted to say. But beyond that, there is the issue of afforestation, which many people have suggested we should embark on afforestation. That presupposes that we have given us out completely, and we have been defeated by the timber cartel. Are we saying we have no contribution to make in order to stop them from this reckless exploitation of our forest resources? And then we are now talking of planting trees instead of talking of how to stop them from this criminal exploitation of our timber resources. We should not just give up like that. We should look for a way of stopping this cartel. Because if you look at the people sponsoring this cartel, are not even Civilians. They are Yoruba people. I have at the Lagos airport, and the commissioner for environment showed me and said, these are the people who are in charge of the cartel. So are we giving up, and we are now looking for how to plan instead of looking for ways of stopping these people from this criminal exploitation? Please, that is something we should consider.
We will be fashy together on the 16th.
On the 16th, yes.
On the 16th, okay, from China. Memu irefu krebo aya de open your chamanki. Kibu chunky did stop there. Man come the president governor before election. And this thing, I mean, we must stop it. When we won the election, I spoke with him, but I can't understand. I couldn't destroy our forest and everywhere. It's unbelievable. Bad Jacob, and by using even the traditional rulers, the youth, everybody.
Then
So,
General, that's what is happening.
Yes.
On the 16th.
On the 16th, all the advice we come in, which is fashion, then we take a position.
Now, which we advise governor, can even across, even beyond Boki, we can bad destroy back. I mean, this thing cannot continue. Bad destroy our forest. Okay, when back again.
Okay, sir. Mane, I'm having for inchi. Mane program, just very quick. First, in Kong, Banete never cheten asama. Most people, but if you them before now, but they very my call. I was very happy. Most of them were pick. And then Koto, the support Mubaki Bebe Mukwan Gibi Sekara. Particularly Konenyam. Konenyam go introduce most people to most people be munyere nyingine. Ndio riofu okay mega mu chairman mu Banebuki Gibi Sekara. So you go or introduce me to most of you. So Nkwasama letter more guide be. In fact, he has always said that there is a lot. Buki is so rich. There is a lot of that money. A get biban and bigger be say, and it is true. There are a lot of bodies can be what have been money trap to bring some development. That's why in Brainful we have started from registration. Once be free, a registered body can apply for many things, and we also with in touch with the local government chairman. Now, Ochibe Bokyi Beja in touch them, so as time goes on, which we care update activities that they unfold. Then Nkuba tomorrow, maybe because in Muge Germany, Nkuba tomorrow na in Ochibe Mubuki, and most of us bichi some of us be manage your grandchildren, or some of your grandchildren, but senior some of Bekwanen. And be go to the bookie. This is my own personal observation. Be more okara. And to because in Muge Germany, Oshe mu ba chat ane Oshebe. In fact, get Germany, ba prefer Oshebe to be jing say afia nangafi ada from afia manero share. You are not but if you consider get BM show. There are some official appointments nyara jage biket. Ada money per Oshebe, but they can send you out of the office. So Oshe mo tabang banet. In fact, I share little experience. Be the mechi body to the bonge. It can be the mechi bembe Nigerians be organized be quiten. One guy over pere right bonem and sa in that famebo. O make a statement. Ofu nanda famebo. It is expected that everybody acquire bo. Up to this point, but try promote Oshebe to other people even and that from. So I'm appealing that should just and be encouraged ban bakurosh or share ubane banet kikeri bonge. Oshiochi banebakan gauge bonge. So gangbe go kabe muji. You could try encourage Rabuki. Some of us don't baby tom boasan. We kwang mo buki ne ba cheten. So get you try better be promote Cambodia mon our culture. And also to add to can be some speakers about the chiefs. Just share quick experience. Ndi mu tonge Calabar, mu tonge University of Calabar. So mu chairman mu Socom community ke Calabar. Thank God bari mu ine. This problem mu ayon and remember jumba robe. Before me delegation to be say. From Calabar, before me delegation, we found all the because you rank ayon kiba from government security agencies. But I manage anything. Up to date, Bagbawe Munidin before Iron Gira was handled by Buanoshe. So in integrating the chiefs by community leaders, is it also possible? Would I look for a way to integrate some vigilantes? Every tribe can attack, even Nambe Boko Haram attack. There's a lot of vigilantes member match because government, yes, will play a role, but government, police, army, all the rest. But if anything, the places, security accurately, what the vigilante share up to date, also come you'd move very formidable. Aku gebisa even nange gebisa kara. So add this approach to actual baby money combined gani meeting to encourage a lot of communities to bring in vigilante from Motobebuki. Our counter free, the pulse of strong. They can also be supporting for, some vigilante groups. Gondimu Kalabani chairman. Barry go for committee chairman move that visit the youth Gebise, but visit back to Gebise just to look for peace. Ban go share. So be more support and be. From Kwanen, the account as strong, but man could support the vigilantes to encourage them to keep up the good work and in the security to tight so that we mangankigi kijang go too bad before a solution of the. So in one she bent time gang by very importantly though. From bed Kwanen be very interested get what went wrong ambassador Pangobe. If that committee could be said, prepared from the beginning, prepare a trace, then it will help us to start mending some fences and then for money, we'll keep to what it used to be. So Abba from that committee will be very much interested to participate in any way more imagine Beba Fubiba. So and also to the chairman General B, who all the time won't disturb our phone and we are happy that this meeting on Monday come. I don't know when Ochochi come, but whenever Ochi come up from create the Zoom link, I will be very much available to create and then Bekwan and be managed to participate to give our suggestions to be part of our assignment.
Vigilante is a good suggestion.
Okay,
Kena mempem ne otudeshi governor gekam ne vigilante, and that was about 3 weeks ago. I know Keme go ahead on a form vigilante.
Okay, I'll go ahead.
Okay, me go ahead. Okay, me go ahead of me money form vigilante. Ngensana kebe me penge kamne the security situation. Sadanfu the military or police, the regular security is not enough. That I wish to set up a vigilante. That I have experienced military persons. Maybe I be man a trap. I be call those vigilante, but train Gambe and all that on how to go about things and guide them. Go ahead, Beatrice.
Now, Mo Fioja, Ima, what I would like to say is that this committee will have a WhatsApp so that if there's anything, we can communicate platform using the we'll be on this so that we don't need to anything we don't. There should be a permanent WhatsApp group for this platform.
Okay. I will do that.
Many more people could be added.
Yes.
That will welcome.
Okay.
I got four beno. General, I got four benchuo. Korun listare ganong. Bena enri infu munege tring. Chuo ge some gantik.
Yes.
I got four beno.
Mama, I got four. We are happy.
I got four beno.
Okay. What do Bombo Emmanuel? Donald.
No, man, I won't cheat.
Taken it down.
Sorry, yes.
Move for Emmanuel, give a summary of what we have discussed.
Okay. The highlights of BMBB PEM number one, Ochibe Bokyi Okam physical meeting on the 16th. And I'd get this meeting more other come on the 16th. Every clan or vice chairman. This one, it was resolved that by mandate every clan to vice chairman. And also after I finish secretary, I think get a meeting to Bachi election so that you have full ESCO. And that very importantly in Kibanet Toba highlight, there should be periodic meetings. And then Bafu Cafe get then it should be like their statutory meetings, maybe that could come once that time of fee. But Inki Bida resolve the means of holding the meeting. Is it a virtual meeting or it must be physical?
Both physical and virtual. One could be physical, one could be virtual.
Okay. So
they must be a physical.
Okay. And what might be possible? Go Kabemuji move and physical meeting occur once a year.
Yes.
In a big way, get TDG, Boki, Bad Baba. And then virtual meeting, no man could you how they call it? Quarterly.
Quarterly.
So that Bapemben could frequently. Then more suggestions more resolutions can. I don't know if that is the approval meeting, and then we'll take it that okay, every quarter there will be virtual meeting. And that
virtual meeting, very often.
Yes.
Yes, I think
virtual meeting quarterly.
Physical meeting must be at least
Once, twice.
Yes, at least twice a year. The things are happening very quickly these days. So if we have 2 physical meetings a year, that will be fine. The virtual meetings can be as many as possible.
Okay. As the need arises.
Yes.
That's fine.
Okay, keep meetings. Then another thing, there was emphasis was account. As the Honorable Cletus so for that
Opening
next
of
week.
account.
Yes, next week back to our bar account. Since bar registered CAC, account opening will not be difficult. With this document by next week, about open account. Then account afre, but money circulate, but never pay to mapuka. Chomki with that fedi sheet or was the levy mubane bachibako pay either clan by clan or group by groups or individual member government. Nkinen be that conclude, but it is encouraged that Banebaku support Ochibe Bokyi. But go kawe mujin kawe mfugi mugin rang bitidishi. If okay, Boki community member get diaspora every DJ bakunge tuomnen to support Ochibe Bokyi. Mocho trap surely a committee bakuchi even some project to support government. Ginto gi kutrap. Even some free medical outreach Ochibe Bokyi bamane ko organize. But without finish how much mubane bada kupe be just before okay, it will be encouraged and talk. It will be a point keep it that deliberate get a next meeting so that get trouble.
Yeah.
Better.
I think so.
Yes.
More record. We will take note of that. She highlights of the meeting. So there another point of movie race is the constitution. Since back in May, Monday, back from Create WhatsApp group get this platform and Create Gamu, the constitution will be shared get the WhatsApp group. So okay, then with this, the Chobich Binyad what is contained in the document, and then we will pray within the guidelines more Ochibe Bokyi. And then get security. Thank God to Barabaf vigilante will be formed. And then there will be integration of the security back on Batu, never clan head, get into the security matters. I think in the local government chairman in line with them. The chairman Ochibe Bokyi and done some other persons. Bachiba France Kanki, particularly the local government chairman Governor Kiabusato from vigilante. While some of us maybe money idea I think we can also share. However, since there's a platform in Mubi create contact, most of these things will be spelled out clearly, then people will throw more suggestions. And then very importantly, in a more sentimental way, in racing for Bokyi. Because I don't get Germany, so in and the importance of language cannot be overemphasized. So before we could Pembuki get booking it and also we could then very importantly,
you forgot
local government chairman raised very important. Ndimba raised about what the government is making out of Boki and that allocation, there's no percentage in Atabuki. Baby Munja much motor into Niger Delta State or a producing state. So Abi Mu raise up to the government. We should have a certain percentage. I know suggest of food that by form a committee, Mubada pay courtesy visit to the government to negotiate on this. Which this thing is very, very crucial, very important. And I think but should be very serious importance, should be attached serious importance. If possible, government raise this committee to send a delegation to the governor. Some of us major behind the scenes, how much the government will make from the local government. So with this, come back a certain percentage, there will be more development, more about I don't know which we manage develop Kanki, but go cover emoji since we will create a platform, there could be some other emergency or behind the scene discussion to form this committee so that batch by money that the governor but do the batch this negotiation. I think these are the few things
No, you forgot one thing, please.
Okay, sir.
The suggestion by His Excellency Ambassador Ekpan, for us to try to document, yes, how did we get this bad?
Yes.
Where did he
I think
miss it?
Ora. I think Ora.
He said it.
Ora,
He said
Anki.
it. He
Yeah.
said
You
it.
mentioned that.
Yes.
All right,
Yes,
you
Ora.
mentioned
That's
that.
very important.
Okay.
Ora, yes.
Okay.
And that's about the first thing you for.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So,
Nkagafo, Yagafo, Chibachi. We finish your
Thank you
talk.
very much,
We share it.
everybody.
So we like to just Nkida Machucation and Bichi. Nkabanagafo.
Oh,
Yes.
Bonti Agafo.
Ochi.
Thank you,
Okay.
Chairman.
Agafo,
Thank you,
Gafo.
Emmanuel
thank you,
Ochi.
Chairperson.
Emmanuel.
Thank you, Excellency.
Boki
Bye bye.
Thank you
Agafo.
very much. Bye
Father
Yes,
Tong,
yes.
Okay. Man is French one. Okay, photo on. Okay, Ofega.
Reason guitar, the one, the Musuno so Mugono.
Amen.
Also, Kita, Ogro Pave, a Cambanayan, Bepe, Rango Shio, Ochibe. Kibaba Pembe Pem Nen, a Bambe, Krama Pembe, Machibatongenberg, and one I was shit and no Boro Kibe. The big one living in Bego share. Usunoyemo Tagambe, Ramachiba Bambano. O share of farm, Ramichi Vigi, Vijen, Valuam. Rambe Pem, Kibaba Pemben, Akibe Bushane, Akibe, Undin the Tem, Ramichi Vichi and Pongayam, Bikyo Shated, the Banya.
Amen.
Amen.
Reason guitar, the one,
Amen.
No, some Amen.
Amen.
Mawe na Morabuki. Mawe na Morabuki.
Amanera, Father. Father Banchi Agafo, Bonchi Tina Agafo, Avobi Bomo, Mommy, Agafo, Agafo Agafo, Banchi Amomi, Agafo, move and get some Ben.
Agafo Ben.
My MP, Agafo. Agafo, long time.
Agafo.
Yeah, well done.
We speak, eh?
Thank you
Yes,
so
Yes,
much
sir.
for your
Yes, sir.
time.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Honorable Chairman and everybody, Father, everybody, Ambassador, Fadaniam, everybody, Asamo.
Agafo.
Bye-bye. Okay. Samuel.
Bye-bye.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
Nice weekend.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thomas.
Agafo, Bonchi.